Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great. And my apologies for the audio. I'm recording with my AirPods, unfortunately, which it should be intelligible, of course, but it's not the best. It's not as good as the microphone that's next to me that I cannot use. But we're going to do a full update on SUI right here in this video. We'll talk about the different possibilities. We opened relatively well, as you can see so far. We formed a bit of a balance here to the upside. Just below our main resistance level right here between $4 and 3.8, which is also the level we hit on Friday afternoon. So the big question is well, all right, we've broken above that balance. That's great. This is better. So that's great, and obviously, I mean, the market this morning looks quite good, looks quite strong still, even though the volume is quite low, but we'll talk about that later, right? I mean, there's obviously, it's not a guarantee that the market is going to continue to be resilient and strong like it is right now. And there's, especially during the New York opening today and the US session, there's definitely some things you need to be aware of and some things that you do need to be, not afraid. I'm not sure what the best word is. But you need to be aware of them, and you need to know what that means for the price. But we'll talk about that later. The metrics for SUI last week were absolutely amazing. We see something similar right now. The DEX trading volumes over the last couple of days have been relatively high still, like they have been over the last month, and the TVL is also still growing. And the TVL growing, you might say, well, that's normal because obviously the TVL is dependent on the price, and the price went up. That's true to a certain extent, but you can see that the price basically since, well, when is it? The price since the 25th of April has been the same, and you can see that the TVL still has grown, right? So that means that the real network growth is there, and it's not just the price action of SUI determining the TVL growth. So that's good as well in this case. There's a bit of you could almost call it a divergence. So that's all great. Fundamentals are great. Market is resilient. The one thing is that, if you zoom all the way out for SUI here, the level we need to break above is this level right here. I would say like most of the last resistance is like 3.9, maybe $4. $4 is obviously a psychological resistance level, so you might as well just put it in there. And to break above that level, look, at this point of time, we're at 3.7, so we still need about like a 7, 8, 9% move to get there. And then we still need to break above that. And at this point of time, the strength to do that is not there. You can see the volume down here. Volume is much lower right now, not only for SUI but also across the markets. So the only way, like getting up to that level, I do see happening, right? I think it's quite likely that we're going to spike up to 3.8, 3.9, $4. But the main thing we have to prevent is that this is not just a bearish divergence move, right? So that the price makes higher highs, but that the RSI, open interest, and volume makes lower highs, because then it's very likely that we will not break out and that we will start pulling back into 3.1 and 2.9, which is our main support level all the way down here, where we also still have some imbalances. So that's the main question, and the only way we can get there with enough strength to break out, to not make it a massive bearish divergence, is if we have a strong New York opening again. All right, those were always the main times last week that SUI really pushed, right? I mean, you can see all these high volume candles for SUI. They were always between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. in my time zone, right? So that is when the New York market opens. So that is what it all depends on. I think short term it is most likely we'll do something like this. But then the only way I can see us pushing above that and getting a move into the next resistance level, which is quite conservative, but I would say the next resistance level is around 4.4, 4.5. So another 10% after breaking out. The only way we can do that is if we have a very strong New York opening. Otherwise, I think it's most likely we will reject from there, maybe find some more balance right here like we have done over the last couple of days, but then get that drop down. And because we have no certainty of the New York opening being that strong again today, I'll have to say that I think it's best to assume that this is going to happen. And then when we actually do have a strong New York opening, then you have to change our bias and we have to change our perspective on what the possibilities are. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know. So hopefully that helps. But for now, have a great day. Take care. I mean, Mondays are always tricky in the markets, and have a great week. Bye.